Shruti, if we were to talk to you about FMCH and what motivated FMCH to look at partnerships to scale, because you have a fantastic program that's pretty large already in itself in Bombay. So why did you not think of replicating it yourself? And why did you look at partnerships as a model to achieve outcomes?
We obviously had a proven model, but for us, it didn't make any sense to go to a new geography, understand that geography. We work on maternal health and malnutrition, which means we work a lot on food. And like Rohini spoke in the previous session, right? It's not about one cookie cutter model that will scale, especially with food, it's very different. So what would it look like to use intelligence that's already existing within the ecosystem? At the end of it, if you keep the family that we all work with in the center, what would it look like to give these families a very holistic intervention? So it was really that thought that we went in with, saying that, there are community-based organizations who understand communities much better than we do. We know how to reduce maternal mortality, reduce malnutrition. So can we then bring these two together, and what would that look like? And that's when we thought we would have most impact. And that's really how partnerships came in for us, which was really about saying that we know a little, you know a little, let's come together and see what we can do together.
So when you're putting the organization strategy together, obviously there are multiple stakeholders who are involved in putting that together, right? So how did you think about partnerships being integrated with the overall organization strategy? And more specifically, what role did the board have to play? Sorry, I had to ask that question.
We separated our direct operations, and we said, that's going to run as is, and that's not going to get disturbed. But let's take the learnings from there and figure out how is it that we could use that in partnerships. Also, like, you just take the learnings from there, right? At the end of it, partnerships is also like a separate project. Like, I have a fantastic team that runs the partnership vertical altogether. Again, Sahyog played a huge role in making sure that we sort of understood what that whole partnership process looks like, breaking it down from the beginning to saying, how do you identify partners? But even before that, right? Are you even ready for partnerships? What kind of partners do you want to go to? Identifying those partners, and that's a long process. And I think just having those conversations with the team in the beginning, having a buy-in, and I think I was extremely fortunate to have a very, very good team that sort of thought the same way. We said, let's solve this for more mothers and children. That's essentially how it went. In terms of the board, I think our board was super, super supportive. And I think that's one of the reasons why we were able to execute, about 3 successful partnerships last year. And we have so many more in pipeline this year. From even making connections with other NGOs, saying, listen, why don't you try this? Why don't you try this? Thought partnering. Sometimes even being on calls with partners and talking about it. It's obviously the board played a huge role, at least for us.
How would you assess the impact of a partnership? And, how would you monitor that the partnership is resulting in better outcomes? I mean, obviously, that's where you're partnering, right?
Before we went into the partnership, we really spoke about this. Mm-hmm. I think the partnership forging is easy. The pre-work to the partnership is really hard.
Yeah.
So we spent like 3 months just talking to the partner, figuring out, this is the program. Are we going to be able to do it? How much do we need to contextualize? How much can our program be contextualized? Is it even relevant in your community? So just walking, just doing that whole process is when we really figure out, okay, what is this partnership outcome going to be? So that 1 year from now, when we want to renew our partnership contract, we're both feeling like, okay, we have moved from A to B. So I think a lot of it is really that. And so we obviously pre-decide what are the partnership goals in terms of whatever that needs to be, right? Number of families reached, reduction in malnutrition by X percentage, very, very quantitative goals. And of course, then we obviously work with the partner to make sure that they achieve the goals, because the partner is successful, then we are successful.
What were some of the top 3 or 4 things that, you ticked off to decide that these were the 4 that were most likely partners to what you wanted to do?
Number one was, is there a need in the community? So, for example, there was one organization that reached out to us from rural Tamil Nadu, and we realized that in that district there was food insecurity, and there was no way that we could have worked because we don't work on giving any ration in that sense. We only work on empowerment of mothers through knowledge and information, right, and access to ANC, PNC care. So we realized that we were not the right partner. So then it became very easy for us to say that, okay, if there's a need, only then we go in. And I think the second most important thing is, do the organization values match your values, right? And I think this is somewhere also like a deal breaker. And I think I got a lot of vocabulary from the previous discussion, right? And they spoke about a partnership is really of equals. It's not a vendor sort of a relationship, right? And is the other organization willing to co-create with you? There's a lot of uncertainty, like you said, right? The other organization could be working in an area that's completely different from what I'm working in. But realizing that both of this is important, is that possible? Can the organization, so do those values, is that value match really happening? Are we keeping the beneficiary in the center, the family in the center of all our conversations? And I think the third one was really about strategically, are there some partners that we want to reach out to? Some areas, some geographies that we would like to reach out to. For example, we wanted to reach out to more partners in Maharashtra because our content was ready in Marathi. So strategically, it made a lot more sense for us to be here. Now, of course, we're looking at Kannada as well. So now we're looking at a lot more organizations in rural Karnataka. Another one was, what is the impact that we would be making through this, right? So I think, yeah, so these are the four main things that we really look at.
What were the successes? What were the failures? But also wanted to add one more element, which is, how did you think the partnership led to the building of capacity in the community?
I think one of our biggest learnings has been that some partnerships are not meant to happen, and don't force them. So there were some organizations that we really thought we wanted to partner with. Either they were too big for us, or we were not there yet. The programs were not contextual, multiple reasons. But we spent a lot of time just trying to figure out, is that going to work? And I wish we hadn't done all of that, because we could have then gone behind partners who we knew that we could really make an impact with. So I think that's been one big learning. And I think another big learning, and this has come over a time, is also that, like we said, right, now we can say that there is really not that one answer. You can have, and it's very important to have these processes and frameworks, etc. But at the end of it, the program that goes out is not going to be a cookie cutter model. So the other thing was around how did we build capacity in the ecosystem? And I think that's a fairly simple one. It's an ongoing process, right? I think organizations like Sahyog, Dasra, or the sort of organizations that help build these capacities of my team, which then sort of becomes leaders to build capacity of other organizations, right? Like, it's sort of like this transfer that happens. And like, for example, like, one of the biggest things for us has been looking at data. I have seen in the last year the way that we have been able to look at data because of various interventions. We've been working with a bunch of foundations to look at data much better. And seeing our partners do that now, it's very, very nice, right? So we are actually bringing like a culture change to just look at data from a very impact-driven perspective. To say, let's see, why were mothers not reached out to? What happened over here? Just asking those questions to our partners. And then they are asking that to their own teams now. And that's a beautiful process to see, right? So for us also now, it's like, what is it going to lead to next? And that's a question that we're asking ourselves. Chandrika and I were having this conversation earlier that you have done this for a year, for 2 years, and how does the partner then sort of become sustainable? How can that program scale on its own without you being there? And what would that take? So that's a question that we are asking ourselves now.